On today's Moving the Chains, a great interview, Jarrell, with the new head coach of the Woodmont Wildcats, Malcolm Boyd, a guy who has been a big-time player himself, now taking over as the head man.
Man, Kev, I love when offensive linemen, get opportunities to be head coaches. He's going to bring that mentality, that physicality, and all that great stuff. So it was a lot of fun catching up with him, learning his story about his playing career, his coaching career, and just excited to see what he's going to do with that Wildcats program.
A really fun interview. Hope you guys enjoy it. Once again, Malcolm Boyd, new head coach of the Woodmont Wildcats, here on Moving the Chains.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Moving the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Moving Chains on all social media platforms and visit movingchains.com today.
Welcome in to Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Darrell Hendricks. We've got a great interview today, a very special guest, the new head coach of the Woodmont Wildcats, Malcolm Boyd. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing good. How about y'all? Thank y'all so much for having me on.
Well, we are doing well, man. We appreciate your time. We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Moving Chains. Our website, movingchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and all other podcast platforms. Coach Boyd was hired in March. He was on staff at Dorman and has spent time as the associate head coach, run game coordinator, and OL coach. He also played collegiately at Liberty. Coach, let's start there. What's that transition been like, leaving your alma mater, coming over here to Woodmont, and now being the head man there for the Wildcats?
Being at Dorman for basically over half of my life. Growing up in the area, growing up through District 6 and then coming back home, and then having the opportunity to go to a great school like Woodmont High School. Honestly, the school itself and the people made it a lot easier. The transition has been really smooth. To be honest with you, the community, the staff members there, the kids are absolutely outstanding, very supportive. So what I thought would be very difficult and honestly crazy that this day would ever come has been very smooth, and it honestly feels just like home there as well.
Coach, you took the traditional, player to coach kind of pipeline, but if you don't mind, man, fill us in on that playing career, at Dorman and into Liberty, and then how you got your coaching career started up until this point.
So what's crazy is growing up, I never had the dream of, being an NFL guy. Like I was never in my cards. I actually grew up wanting to be a coach and wanting to come back to Dorman to coach. And my dad always thought I was crazy. He's like, you're just talking. Why would you want to go in education? That kind of deal. And so in all honesty, playing for Coach Gutshaw, seeing the player side of things with him, he truly prepared me to play at the next level. I don't know if there's any – obviously I haven't been with any other school when it came to playing, but I know for a fact playing for him and Coach Lancaster, I was as prepared as anybody when I got to Liberty, so much so that I did not have to redshirt. So that's all kudos to those guys preparing me and practicing us the way we practice and training the way we train to where when I did go to Liberty in July, they actually helped a very smooth transition. And then playing for Coach Danny Rocco, he's been a huge impact on my life and the way he was player-driven first and then football second. Like he was very, very strict and hard on us in life, and it just transitioned to our success on the field that kind of adapted to the way that I coach now today.
Well, Coach, one of the key things for a first-time head coach especially is kind of getting that staff set up. How has that come about for you? Do you have a lot of guys you're able to retain? Did you bring some guys in? Are you fully set now? And maybe shout out a couple of those guys you're able to kind of get on staff there at Woodmont.
Yeah. So we are fully staffed. I think our staff is very cohesive. I think we have a very, very good staff. The thing that I really wanted to bring to our program was the family environment. And I always tell the coaches, like, if we're not a family, if we're not together, our kids are never going to believe it or actually even know what it looks like. Because some of our kids don't even know what true love and family is even feeling like. So it's our jobs to do it authentically and not the fake way. So, like, we truly, truly mesh. We had a few guys that stayed on. I was able to bring a few guys from Dorman, and I brought a few other guys, like my offensive coordinator, Tyler Kirby, is from TL Hanna. We actually had a prior relationship at Dorman. My defensive coordinator, Andy Hallman. When I started at Dawkins Middle School, he was there. We've known each other 12, 13 years. They call us like an old married couple type deal. And the guys that are there now, like Chris, Chase Owens, and Austin Morgan. Those guys, shout out to Austin Morgan for being the new head baseball coach at Woodmont High School. I'll tell you, we got a good one right there. I hope Wildcat fans are excited for baseball. I tell you, it's been just a smooth and great transition with both. I mean, Tim Sexton, I'm talking about the jack of all trades. I mean, there's nothing he cannot do. I'm not technology driven at all. I just called Tim up, and he's ready to go. I got a guy, Troy. He's basically our plant. He's over the whole school, and so he's a fix it. Cut the. He does whatever. Like today, I'm texting like about the air. He's texting us updates all the time about the air and all that type of. He's working on that. I say, hey, we need to dock your pay because there's still no air here. Like, what do you like? You're not at practice. So they're still not working. So what are we doing? Type deal. So, but man, we are truly, truly, really close. You would think we've been together forever.
Coach, once you got that staff in place, that's one big thing. But another big thing is getting your systems in place and what you want to run. Now, you're an offensive lineman by nature. You coached OL, run game coordinator. Talking about you bringing your OC over from TL Hanna. So I kind of guess what you're going to do on offense there. But what also are you guys going to be able to do on defensive side of the ball this season?
So we'll be a true 3-4 reduction structure with a 4-2-5 principle behind it. We'll show you a lot of different looks. A lot of 3-4 reduction. You can kind of tell where it's going from. We're kind of play with it a little bit, or at least try to. The biggest thing is we want to be simple. So at the end of the day, you might know where people are coming from just because of based off film, and you might try to do a little too much. But if our kids don't know what they're doing, then we're really hurting ourselves. At the end of the day, we don't have a chance if our kids are not comfortable with what we're doing. I mean, I tell guys all the time, the Seattle Seahawks should have won 2 Super Bowls playing cover 3, and everybody knew that's playing cover 3. Like, so you don't have to be difficult to win games and win championships. And so I like what you said about the TL Hanna hire, because I hope a lot of people think that, because Tyler Kirby's background is actually not in the option.
I love it.
That's great. I hope people are thinking that way. That'll help us a lot. But no, in all honesty, yes, I am an offensive line guy. But the guys that people know me, like, I'm not scared to throw the ball over the yard. And I think that comes from being with Coach Gutshall. And I also played under my first few years at Liberty. Brandon Street was my offensive coordinator. Awesome. So I'm not and then you go to Turner Gill, who's the traditional Nebraska offense. So I've been in both. So I love both sides. I just love football. So anything that helps our kids be successful and win, we'll be able to do. We're to adapt. The Coach Gutshall offense would be called adaptability. You can never put it in a box. So that's going to be us as well.
You've mentioned, Coach Gutshall and Coach Lancaster and Coach Streeter and Gill and some great guys you've had a chance to play under and be around. Who are some guys that you would say have kind of molded the way that you coach, and maybe even a couple guys now you like to kind of watch to pick things up from as you kind of start your head coaching career?
So I would say I took a little bit from everybody, in all honesty. With Coach Gutshall, I mean, he's an offensive genius. Like, just hearing him and what he says on the board is just unbelievable. But also, a lot of people would think a guy like Coach Gutshall, who has over 400 wins, that's what he's about. But one of our greatest conversations we've ever had was we was leaving after a game, and one coach, I think it was Coach Cooper, said, "Hey, Coach, you just got your 400 win. Like, how's it feel? Congratulations." Like, you think my daughter and anybody else cares that I got 400 wins? At the end of the day, I'm a dad. Like, it's not going to say 400 wins on my tombstone. It's about the people that support you and love you. It's not about the wins. You're not going to be remembered. You might be on a piece of paper as a winner, but if you're not winning at home, you're not winning with your kids, you're not truly winning. So I took that from him. Coach Rocco was one of the hardest individuals I've ever probably been around in my life. Like, he was true old school, like Oh my goodness, I have nightmares sometimes still, the stuff we had to go through when we did that stuff. So I took a little bit of that from him. Coach Gill brought another player development piece to it that I probably have never seen before, where you kind of like truly get into the kids' minds. And I would say play mental games, but it's not really mental games. You're just developing the mental toughness in a different way. Because, a lot of people, if you have a mental breakdown, you just want to run them. Well, what are we teaching them if we're just running them? We need to put them in the situation to, get through that situation and come together and find a way to get better. So they kind of all taught me. I've taken something from everybody. Coach Lancaster, another one, like, we got stories for days that I know he would not want to tell me online that that I just, to this day, we still laugh about. Like, we'll laugh about it very easily to this day. So, but yeah, I feel like I've taken a little pieces from everybody I've been around, but I would say the biggest influence on my coaching style right now as a program would probably be PJ Fleck. Like, if you say PJ Fleck in my house, my wife is probably gonna go crazy. Like, I love the row the boat mantra so much, so we kind of adapted it ourselves to row our boat to make it more individualized but yet team oriented, to bring the whole Woodmont community together. And it honestly embraced it very well. So that's probably my biggest programmatic piece that I've taken. I got the books, I've read, I've done all of it. So,
Coach, we like to ask you a question we really like to ask young coaches like yourself and first-time head coaches, especially like you are. When did you kind of know, coming from a great program like Dorman, playing collegiately, when did you know it was kind of like time to make that jump and take the step to put yourself out there to be a head coach?
Just really, trusting the work that's been put in and the time that's put in and the relationship piece that's been put into it. In all honesty, I kind of put it as in like, getting married or having a child. Like, there's truly nothing that you can read or go through. Because, with Coach Morris, like, he's had me in I might as well have been like, I didn't make decisions, but like I was in a lot of the good meetings and a lot of the not so good meetings. There's nothing that can truly prepare you like being a father or a husband until you're actually in that role. Same thing with a head coach. Like, you might have an idea what's going on, but until you're actually in that seat, you don't truly know how you might handle something or what actually, because everything now is coming across your table. It used to be just a few things, but now it's everything, no matter good, bad, it's all coming across. So it's really one of those things you kind of, just like anything else, you got to learn as you go, adapt as you go. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned from this is you always got to be you. Like, even though I've learned from all these different head coaches, at the end of the day, I got to be myself. And if I'm not myself, then my kids are going to know it's not genuine. And that's when everything's kind of lost.
Let's talk about some of those kids, Coach. One of the main things we like to do here on Moving the Chains is really spotlight some of the great talent we've got across the state. Who are some special players you guys have coming back for 2025 that we should really be on the lookout for on Friday nights?
I'll tell you, Adrian Estridge is an offensive lineman. He's going to play tackle for us, but I think at the next level, he's truly going to be a guard. When I talk about nasty, sticks out on film, runs really, really well. He's one that I think he's going to fall under the cracks a little bit. I think he should end up FCS-ish level. But I could see, with all the college landscape, it's just forever changing. You never know. But somebody would definitely get a great steal. What's crazy about him is he's like a big-time chef. Like, he's a culinary guy.
Okay.
He talks junk to me all the time about him cooking. He sent me some chicken Alfredo the other day, a picture. I was like, dude, it's trash. It doesn't even look seasoned. But and he got more upset about that than we talk about practice. I was like, dude, whoa now. So, like, he's one. Lorenzo Hurley, who's going to be our starting safety probably, and get some reps also at running back. I think last year he was more of a wide-out safety. I think he started at safety. And was a little bit of a wideout, but he'll be primarily, his main role will be safety. We'll have a good bit of guys that play both ways, but they'll specialize on one side of the ball and help on the other side. So the biggest thing is that nobody's going to be put into a box, because you never know. Even as a senior in high school, you don't know what that kid's going to grow into. So they have the ability to play both ways. One is going to help them promote to the next level, because now they are able to do more than one thing. But also when they do get to college, if they can play that other spot, they already kind of know where it's at. And I kind of learned that from being at Liberty, because my roommate, who rushed for like 5,000 yards as a running back in high school, got moved to wideout the first day and then got moved to corner and ended up playing NFL. I'm just like, so you just never know what somebody's going to develop into. So that my mindset, and like JV, D team, you're playing both ways. I don't care who you are. You are not playing one position. The rule is you got to play both ways. So that's kind of how we kind of develop things. We're going to be really, really young. So the future is very, very bright. Super excited. I think this year we're going to come out and shock a few people, because we're going to be really young. So I think it's going to be a little bit of like, you're kind of too naive to kind of figure out, what's really happening type deal, because they work their tails off every single day. And I think they're going to eventually see the fruits of their labor. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen.
Coach, a lot of success that you achieve in the fall, takes root, especially in the winter workouts and spring. What were you able, to kind of learn about your team through spring practice and as you've kind of gone into these summer workouts?
So the biggest thing that I want to really push and find out is who's going to be all in, who's going to be willing to, like I said, our saying, our programmatic saying is, row our boat. But the theme of all spring and this summer is just find a way. Because at the end of the day, no matter, I'll say to them, I don't care how tired you are. I don't care if you got a cramp. Like we play Seneca August 29th. You want me to call it Seneca? Say, hey, coach, like we got a cramp. Please don't. We got to find a way to push through it to be able to do what we need to do, right? So our biggest thing is just find a way, no matter how you're feeling, because at the end of the day, it's not going to get better. So the more running I do or mat drills I do, if I need 4 and I end up doing 6, well, at 7, 8, 9, 10, it's going to get a lot worse. So go ahead and get the 4 out the way, find a way to get it done, so that way you accomplish what you want to accomplish. So that's really the biggest thing we've been pushing all throughout spring and all throughout the summer. Because, I mean, honestly, with having a late hire, I got hired in March, but I really didn't get down there till mid-April, truly, till spring practice. Because when I got hired, they was on spring break. And then after I got announced, we were on spring break. So it was kind of, it's kind of a late start. But even with that, I'll tell you, the kids have truly, truly, truly bought in to what we've been preaching. They believe in it. Our other thing is like belief is an active word. Belief, you can't just believe and just be stagnant and stand still. You got to actively pursue whatever you believe in. And our kids have really dived into that.
Coach, we're catching you now. It's mid-June. We're kind of in the height of, I guess, 7-on-7 season. As an OL guy, are you a fan of that stuff? Do y'all do a lot of 7-on-7? And also, I know in our state, 11-on-11 has become big the last couple of years. Have you gotten into that stuff at all yet?
So I like 7-on-7 for just sheer competing and just working on different stuff. It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to have it, but you kind of really don't. So I'll always like to, do one college D1 one and one college D2 to give our kids a taste of both and kind of making a little bit of an experience. But again, being hired in April, I wasn't able to get into any of them, which actually is a good thing for where we're at, because it gave us time to really work on what we need to work on, because we've done more like just passing against each other 7-on-7. We haven't done really tournament play. Our first one has to be tomorrow at Pendleton. So I'm kind of excited to see how we continue to compete, especially in tournament play. We do 11-on-11 with ourselves. We haven't truly did it, with somebody else yet. So that'll probably be more of a next year type deal. I just wanted, a lot of kids don't know how to practice in helmets. I'm be honest, I didn't know. I was a culture shock my first day at Liberty, and I'm hitting somebody with this helmet. I'm like, what in the world is this? But it really brings out, like, how tough do you want to be? Like, it truly brings out toughness, because at the end of the day, O-line, D-line, you can't not be live. So if you're willing to knock somebody out with just a helmet on, then when you get past one, it's not going to be a problem. So we do 7-on-7. The problem is it can create some bad habits, right? So you catch the ball on the out route and they can cut all the way across the middle. Well, there's going to be a 300-pound defensive lineman coming to take your head off. So that's kind of stuff we got to talk about every day. Actually happened today. We got to talk about like, hey, like that might work tomorrow, but we're not practicing 7-on-7 habits. We're going to do what we do in 7-on-7s to get better for August, September, October, November. And we're going to work that way. We're not going to do anything special just because it is a 7-on-7. And again, we're trying to get out of the habit of, and the problem is they do 7-on-7 with other teams too. So it's the same thing. You kind of trying to break that mold a little bit because I really don't want them to find out the hard way. But sometimes, I mean, this kind of is what it is. They're kids. They're kids. Sometimes they're like, Coach, you never even caught a ball before. Like, how would you know? Well, I've seen it happen, buddy. So,
like, Coach, you're talking about your experience, and that's great because you're coming from a championship caliber program. You're coming from a place where you play in one of the toughest regions in the state of South Carolina, and you're bringing it to Woodmont, a program that hasn't had the most success, but is playing, big boy football. What's the main thing that you felt that you needed to kind of bring to the program and instill, once you took over?
So the biggest thing is honestly one of the first things I did when I was going to interview was Google the Woodmont football history. And the biggest thing for me is we got to celebrate the 85 team. We got to embrace them because they're the ones that have done what we're trying to do. And like Alfred Witt, who was one of the first co-captains of Woodmont football history in 1966, who died at the age of 21 on March 25th, 1968. In Vietnam, like things like that, like part of our core values is sacrifice. Well, every time we step on that field, which is named after Alfred Witt, we need to acknowledge and be able to be willing to take it to the level that he would, because we're not able to do any of that stuff without him. And if we're not able to play hard on that field that's named after him, if that doesn't get us goosebumps or get us ready to go, then there's just something wrong with us in general. So that's the biggest thing I pushed when we first got there, celebrating what past we do have, because everything that those guys have done, we're trying to get to and we're trying to reach. And the standard is the standard, and the standard doesn't change for anybody. They got to be able to hold it.
Coach, I want to talk for a second about, I guess, kind of that community there. I guess the Piedmont area, the Woodmont area there. How would they really kind of embrace you and your family since you came over there? And also, can you tell that they're hungry for a winner within the school and community, and they want to be successful?
Oh, it was I could tell it as soon as I walked through the door to interview. Like, I don't know what it was because I'm going to be honest, until I went to interview, I've never been to Piedmont, South Carolina in my life because I've never had a reason to go to Piedmont, South Carolina. But as soon as I crossed and got on West Georgia Road, I just felt – I know you hear these stories that you think, I'm just talking, but I really just felt, because I was nervous, I felt a calm. And then as soon as I walked through the door, you could just feel like Miss Patterson, our principal. I mean, she's from Woodruff. She was there in the Varner days. So like, if there's anything, she wants to win and she's seen how to win. So everything is in place for Woodmont to be successful. The community is thriving for it. I mean, we did a wish list for our kids to be able to, have Gatorades, water, snacks when we go to these 7-on-7s and throughout the week. And I've gotten more packages on my doorstep or stuff delivered. I didn't think anybody could top my wife getting packages sent home. Well, my goodness, I've had 20 packages on my front door and having to take them down there. Like they are truly, truly bought in and to want to be successful. Like we have our own youth association that has just been branched off and has flourished in the last 3 to 4 years that people want to truly, truly be a part of. And I truly believe that Woodmont is a sleeping giant and just has to be woke up.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. for your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
A couple easier ones here for you, Coach. We'll let you go today. Maybe in your office on a home Friday or on the bus to an away game. What's on your pregame playlist as you get ready to take the field?
That's gonna be funny. So I really don't listen to anything pregame wise. I really just kind of try to keep to myself. And I also, myself and Coach Morris started a tradition maybe about 3 years ago. It's only for home games. We'll go in the office, lock ourselves in the office, and then we'll just talk about, just life. And then at 5 o'clock, we got to watch Maury and Steve Wilkos. We got to watch trash TV. Because when we watch it, it humbles you. Because when you watch stuff like that, no matter how tonight goes, you're better off than they are. So that's kind of the thing that we do, and I'm gonna keep doing that here at Woodmont because it's just what I know. I'm not superstitious. It's just a thing that we do. I don't believe in superstition because for me, if wearing my lucky draws was true, then every time I won, we'll win. So
Kevin, mark the tape. Unequivocally, the best answer we've ever had to that question. I'm ecstatic. As a Maury consumer at a high level, I love that answer. Coach, I got to ask you this one. You said you're a fan of the program. We talked to you off air, so you know this question's coming. Kevin and I love to eat. So if you don't mind, give us a suggestion for a restaurant in that Piedmont area. I know you haven't been there long, and I know you're kind of, in a transition. What's one spot that we should hit up if we're going to catch a game?
So the place I've been to the most as of right now is Three Friends and Bar.
Great spot.
Oh man, awesome. Everything's made in house. It's awesome. I mean, I actually went there yesterday.
That is a good spot, man. They do a good job over there for sure. We mentioned earlier, Coach, you played at Liberty and you had a great career there, all Big South, all American. Do you keep up much with what Coach Chadwell is doing there with the Flame? And you're excited about that program heading forward?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I try to go there at least once a year. And, at Dorman, we did staff trips. I was always pushing to go to the mountain because, I mean, Coach Chadwell in himself, proven winner everywhere he goes, and he does it his way and himself. He's a little different. And, but the way he does it is very, very, very strategic, but it's also authentic. So a lot of people that I was there with are still there, like Ed Gomes, the team chaplain. He will still call me at least once a month to this day, wish me happy birthday. Miss Christy Bites, who's the academic coordinator, she's still there. I mean, there's still a lot of people there that I truly love and wouldn't be anywhere in the position I'm at today if it's not for them, especially Miss Bites. I mean, we've had some behind the closed door meetings, come to Jesus meetings that have really pushed me to be able to push through and get to where I was at. When my sister passed, they were there for me. So, that place is very, very special to me. My wife already knows that there's one place that could Lynchburg, Virginia is a place that I always go to.
It's fitting that you mention your wife. You have a unique situation. We talked about this a little bit off air. Your wife is also a head coach. Yeah. She's the head coach of the Lady Vikings over there in Spartanburg, the women's basketball program. What's it like being able to kind of, pick her brain and, you guys can kind of debrief about things and just having another coach in the family, and especially one that you're married to?
So it's very interesting. So obviously being a Dorman guy, and then coaching at Dorman when she got the job, it made for some very, very interesting dinner conversations the week of that game, whether it's football or basketball. It made it tough. And then I go to Woodmont, I'm thinking, hey, I ain't got to worry about that no more. Well, the day of my announcement, she goes over to the basketball coach and signs up for 2 games. I'm like,
coming after you, Coach.
I love it. I tell the girls when they come by my office all the time, I say, hey, you can play good in every game but 2. Every game but 2. You can ball out, but you got to play the worst game you've ever played. Y'all not looking out for me. You don't come by my office asking for no snacks if you out there dropping 20.
Love it.
But it's been great. It's definitely an adjustment. What really helps is we have a very supportive family around us. very sports-minded family around us. Our kids, they don't know they act better in the gym or a field than they would anywhere else. Like, that's all they know. My son is all into sports. My daughter's all into cheer and dance. So it fits right in. They've been great. They're very understanding. They love going to mommy's school or love going to daddy's school. It's not really a problem when it comes to that. Like, always being on the phone with it is one thing that's different. I didn't have to be on the phone as much, and she was always on. I was like, why shit? But now I see, like, the phone does not stop. So, but I mean, being able to bounce stuff off each other, being able to debrief with each other is actually very, very great, because we definitely understand what each other's going through. Even though she might have, dealing with female athletes or male, it doesn't really matter. They're both dealing with each other, because you got girlfriends and boyfriends breaking up with each other. You got all that stuff going on all the time that you got to work with kids getting over and all that stuff. So that kind of deal has actually been really good. It's been pretty smooth for the most part. I would have thought June would be the toughest for us, with her being open for basketball and us doing 7-on-7s, but it really hasn't been terrible.
I meant to ask you this one earlier, Coach, and I just kind of thought about it again. But, we mentioned you spent so much time at Dorman. I mean, basically your whole career grew up in that kind of region too, Murderers Row over there. Oh, yeah. You're getting to play a lot of new teams, I guess, now at Woodmont. That's something where maybe you've done a little extra off-season film work, or, are there some guys you're calling and say, hey, what's this guy like to do? Like, how do you kind of prepare to go against some new teams that you maybe haven't played before, when you had a better familiarity with some of those other guys on in that other region?
So in all honesty, what's crazy is in the region that Dorman's in, I would like to say the one we're in at Woodmont's probably, if it's right there. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough region. What it really helps is at Dorman, we've played Greenville, we played J.O. Man, we played Hillcrest. So there's still some there. Yeah. Obviously, there's some stuff. There's some nuances that'll be different that you have to get used to, or whatever. And that just comes down to film study and just getting to know. Really, at the end of the day, our biggest preaching is we're going to beat us. I don't really talk. I try my best not to talk about the opponent. Right now, I really, really, really have been trying to focus on what we are doing and how we are doing things. Because at the end of the day, if we're not doing the way we want to do it or how we want it done, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We've already lost. If we're not finding our identity and we're not holding our standard, then we've already lost before we even touch the field. So I've really tried my best to not mention the other school name. It does come out every now and then, but for the most part, I try to just worry about Woodmont.
Coach, to put a bow on this thing, we want to ask you, what are some of your goals for the 2025 version of the Woodmont Wildcats?
So really, when you watch us on film, I want you to see the effort, tenacity, and the true toughness that we play with. Not just toughness like just hitting you in the mouth, but mental toughness. Like, I wanted you to be able to watch on film if something good or bad happens, our body language does not change. Yes, we celebrate the victories, but we also know no matter if you're up 60-0 or down 60-0, something bad's gonna happen. There's never such thing as a perfect game. And so I'm huge on body language. That's probably the one thing I call out more than anything. It's just a pet peeve of mine, because I just truly believe if you're not locked in the game, if your body language is not good, you're not gonna be ready to make the next play. So we really emphasize on next man up mentality ready. So that way that no matter if you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, JV, team, you have to be ready to play. You never know what can happen. And I learned that from my 2 years ago at Dorman, losing 4 starting offensive linemen and having 4 guys that thought they did not want to play end up being actually starters and having a really, really good year. So just always having that next man up mentality. We are truly purpose driven, not results driven. We are going to attack the heart. And I think from attacking the heart, then you get the results that you want for a long standing. I don't want just temporary success. I want forever success. And that's with on the field and off the field. The only way to do that is through the heart.
This has been great. I want everyone to go follow Coach Boyd and the Wildcat program on social media. They do a great job posting updates on their kids and their students and their programs. Certainly check them out on there. Like I mentioned, follow us on all social media at Moving Chains, movingchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and all podcast platforms. Moving the Chains is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jarrell, anything else for Coach? We'll let him go today.
Coach Boyd, first of all, congratulations on this opportunity. I know it's a great, step in your career. Just excited for what you have coming down the pipeline. And I want to thank you for your time today. We know it's a very critical, part of the year where you guys are in full preparation mode. So we appreciate you jumping on with us. And just as a Greenville County native, I root for all schools in the state, but I got a little special place in my heart for those. So it's good to see talented men like you, leading those programs.
I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate y'all's time. Appreciate y'all having us on and promoting Woodmont as a community and football.
Well, we appreciate it, Coach. Look forward to stopping by a practice or a game. We get to see you again soon, and best of luck, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Moving the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Moving Chains on all social media platforms and visit movingchains.com today.